Hello and welcome back to our action RPG series. In the previous episodes, we've been working on our cooldown of our abilities, but so far we've only got one ability into our game. So let's go ahead and create another one. Let's make a projectile ability for our main hero. So in this episode, we're going to go through the process of creating a projectile ability, talking through the process of actually creating abilities, new effects, and then adding some extra bits to our ability system to make it more robust. So let's take a look. So we've got slash as an ability. Let's make another one. Let's make a ranged attack for our character here. So this is the process you follow when you're building out abilities. The first thing you do is go to your abilities folder and create a child of your ability class. And we'll name this one, what should we call it? We'll call it Sword Wave Ability. And I'm going to put that into my abilities folder. And in here, I'm putting a thumbnail, and I've got a thumbnail I want to use. I'm going to drag in this one. And we'll just change that one to Sword Wave Icon T. And we can go back to our ability and set up its information. So in here, we can go to name, and we'll do Sword Wave. And the description, we can do send a burst of energy forwards with a heavy attack to hit enemies at range. The thumbnail would be the one we just made. So let's go into there, top of the wave, sword wave. There we go. Cost stat we'll leave blank for now. We'll do cost later. Cooldown, though, we're going to make it a little bit longer. We'll say that's 3-second cooldown. And then we've got the range. And the range I'm going to change to 600. So a little bit further away to make this work. The effects, though, are going to be the projectile it's going to send out. So I'm going to go back to my effect folder. And, not effect folder, let's go back to ability effect, create a child of that. And do effect, sword wave. And as I said, this will be a projectile that you're going to send out. So we're going to have a projectile movement. And in here, we're also going to have a sphere collision. So here we add the sphere, and that will act as the collision for our projectile. The next thing we'll do is add some particle effects for this to make it look like something. Now, if you've got the Greystone pack or any of the Paragon packs, they do come with their own visual effects, which is really cool. So I can go into here, into Greystone's folder, go to effects, and go to particles, abilities, and I've got all the abilities laid out here. So we can go clear path for him, and I think we're going to use this one. I think it is, yeah. So we've got this cool ability using the cascade system because it's obviously quite old, but we'll use this still all the matter. So over here on our effect, we're going to add in our cascade particle system. And there you go, it's added it to it because I had it already selected. And the sphere, I'm going to change the size of to meet the same sort of expectation of the size of this. So sphere, we'll change to like 300. Maybe, yeah, no, that might be right. 300, 250, maybe 250. Okay. On the projectile movement, we're going to make it fly forwards at quite a high speed. So initial speed here, we're going to do, it's quite a short particle effect. We'll just make it fly across. It's got to go travel at least 600 units, and its lifespan is what? Half a second? A second? Let's say a second. We then want to change this to be 600 initial speed, maybe 700, make it a bit faster. We'll see how it goes. But we'll go for that. Max speed, obviously, you need to match that. And the rest of this I can leave alone, I think. Gravity, I want to turn off. Don't care about gravity. No bouncing. Collision. Yep. Okay. So compile that, save that, and close that. No, I'm not worried about damage yet. I'm just going to make it so I can spawn it and see it flying across a thing. So on sword wave ability, I'm going to change my effect here to have the sword wave effect and save that. Now, to easily test this out, because I've already got the left click sorted out, is I can just change this here to be the different spawned ability, not spawned ability, different spell book, have different assigned ability to this. So I'll go sword wave. And so we should see. So there's our ability going out. Okay. So a couple of things. Our character needs to be facing the target that we need to go. And this will be true for pretty much all the ranged sort of abilities. Whoever we click on, we need to face our character to face that way. And I've just noticed a little bug where if I were to click on the actor, it won't do the attack as expected. It will. Oh no, it is doing the attack. It's not too bad actually. It's just need to turn it around first. So let's turn it around. Okay, so on the ability itself here, we are going to tell our ability to face whoever we click on. So on the ability parent, this is on begin play, we have in our targeting the caster for this. So we can take the caster and we're going to do set rotation, do set actor rotation. Now I only want to affect the yaw of this. I don't want it to affect anything else. So I'm just going to right click on this, new rotation, and split that. And I'm just affecting the yaw. Now, when I do click the button to spawn this ability, at the moment, I've got the intended target itself and everything else in between. I don't want that to be the case. I want it to know who is it trying to attack. So we need it to be intended target, but we'll change the self here in a second. Let's go to ability, drag out intended target, and we can get location. And we do find, look at, rotation. And so let me just make some space here. So the active location for the intended target will be the target pin. The start will be the caster's location. Get location. And put that into there. And I was just going to split this and just put in the yaw. We only care about the yaw. So that's that handled. But the problem is we haven't done the intended target on here. We haven't passed through who we're targeting. So when I do the primary attack, I need to know who we're sending this attack to. So on here, we're going to assign targets to the abilities. So I'm going to go to my variables and go targets. This will be an array still of various things because you can have different abilities affecting different targets at any one time. So I'm going to go to actor. I'm still going to keep it as an array. And we're going to do get on a primary attack. In fact, we'll just put it has to be after the valid. Sorry. Before we spawn it in, we need to do set array element. And to this. Oh, no, not invalid. Sorry. Invalid. There we go. So the index will change along with all the other ones for the different types of attacks. The item, though, will be who we're attacking. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to pass it through the primary attack on there as a target. So I'm going to change this to target, and we'll actually call it intended target. Target. There we go. Excellent. So we've got the intended target going through there. Now, also you need to backtrack and work out where primary attack is being called, and that was getting called by our top-down controller. So let's go to our top-down folder, top-down blueprints, and controller. And you'll see now primary attack is different signature. We call this a signature. We're missing a top intended target. So what I'm going to do is I need to pass through on the get location of the cursor who is the damageable actor. Yeah. So I'm going to go into that function there, expand open our object here, take the hit actor and add it to our top return node, the one that is coming from the damageable trace. And that'll go into there. File. Like that. Go to the event graph. And now the hit actor will go to the intended target. So that should now handle that. I go to the go back to the player character, and now go to the intended target. This will be the targets, get, copy, and it's a character reference. Of course it is. Let me change it to be not a character reference. Let me change this intended target here to be just an actor reference. Yeah, shouldn't hopefully break anything. Yeah. And then I go back to here and I should be able to plug that in after compile. Why can't I plug that in? Might have to refresh this. Yeah, there you go. So that will now get the targets. And as I said, that these zeros would change based upon which attack we're doing. So it's a primary attack, so left click. So it's always going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So compile, save that. And now let's check that and see if I turn. Okay, so it's not too bad. I just need to turn the character around. Intended target is false. It's not false. Access none. Why is that none? Let's have a look. Targets, get, targets. Oh, it's got targets is empty. Need to give it 6. There you go. Okay, so we've got basic attack going on here. We just need to spawn the effects in the correct rotation and location and do an animation. So let's go back to our ability for the sword wave. And on the ability, not ability here, the effect we want. Let me just put it down the folder. Here we are. So it works similar to the slash. So we go back to slash, you can see how that works. So in here is where we're doing the logic for spawning the object in and all this stuff. So the ability effect, we need to do the damage, we need to do the movement, we need to do the rotation, all that stuff. Now, if I go back to my ability, sword wave ability, go to the event graph, not sword wave ability, the parent class ability. If I see the spawn transform here on activate ability, we've got the intended target. If it's valid target, it's going to pick A, which would be the actor's transform. We don't want it to do that. We want it to fly towards the target. Okay, so it's going to go from the caster to the target. At the moment, this is spawning on top of the target. We don't want that. So what we need to do is take and change this about a bit. We'll change this to be actually no, we'll add a little a detail for this. We'll have a boolean for like is projectile. Ooh, let's spell it right first of all. Is projectile. There you go. And make that a boolean. Because if it's a projectile, I don't want it to spawn in the actor that we're targeting. I want it to fly towards the target that we're targeting. So I'm going to put that in here. Projectile. Space that out a little bit. And we do another select transform. Is projectile there? Yeah. So if it's not a projectile, it'll choose the one we're doing up here. If it is a projectile, I want it to spawn at the location of my caster, rotated towards the intended target. So I'm going to take this and make transform. And in fact, actually, we could do it straight on the caster, I think, because our caster's already turned around. Let me just make sure that's the case. Let's just go into our caster actor transform and put that into there. So I'll go back to my sword wave ability and tick on is projectile. And let's test that out. Yeah. There you go. It's going. to the correct location. But you need to make it faster. So let's go back to the sword wave projectile. I'm going to change this a bit faster. I'll do 1,000. And we'll do on that to overlap, and we'll do the damage on anything we overlap. Yeah. So apply damage. And damage actor will be the other actor. Base damage here will randomize random float range. So we'll do the stat stuff later. Oh, did do range. So we can do damage properly. Random in range. And we'll do between 30 and 100. Damage causer will be self. Oh, let me just group myself. Yeah, not too bad. Like that. And because it's a projectile with a wide field on it, it should hit multiple targets. We'll go in here. No range. There you go. So noticing it's firing before I've turned my character around, so we need to fix that a little bit. But that's working now. Let's just make it so it turns around before it fires off. So if I go back to ability and go to our begin play where we set up the rotation, it's just activating ability before it does a rotation. So I just need to put that on the other side of it. So it does the rotation first and then it does the ability. But now it does that. Obviously now we're just missing an animation. So if you go to Greystone and use folder, animations, we've got, I think it's this one. Yeah, we'll use that one. I'm going to right click on this, create a montage. Create montage. And then if I go back to the ability, so here ability slash story is doing the play and the montage. The ability, I'll just copy that actually. And put it onto ability sword wave. There we go. Put that on begin play. And change that to ability E. So now it should. Oh, I think I've got the wrong slot on it. Hold on. Let's just take a look what we've got set up in primary here. So primary setup use, yeah, upper body, by the looks of it. The slot here. So I need to go back to that other ability. Where is it? And change that to be upper body as well. Upper body. There you go. There you go. You see the cooldown doing 3 seconds. And everything else you want to do to it is just adding the effects and other things you want to do, sounds and so on. So like, for example, we go to the sound wave effect here, add more particles to this thing. And go to particles. And there's one that's like dust on the floor. Is this one? Looks like it could be, yeah, it's dust on the floor, this one. So we use this. And this one is on there. So if I go to the effect sword wave, add cascade, it'll add that to it as well. Okay, there's some nice little effects coming out of it there. And there you go. We've now got a second ability in our game, and it's a projectile one. So in the next episode, we're going to start work on our spell book to be able to drag and drop and assign these abilities to our hotbar. This will allow us then to build in the other keys to activate different abilities, such as the right mouse button and the 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. You can watch the next episode right now on patreon.com/Ryan Laley. From just $1 a month, you get access to all my videos early before everyone else. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.